My name is Mo Zurliene. I live in New Baden, Illinois. We're sitting in our 1982 LTL Ford 9000 that I bought probably about 4 years ago from a gentleman who bought it new. His name was Art Fix. At the time when I bought it, he was 88, going to be 93 here in July. So,
does he still get to see his truck occasionally?
Oh yeah, I take it by there, but you know, at his age, he really can't get in it no more. And this, and he just loves looking at it. He called me and wanted me to buy it. And I said, well, what do you want me to? He said, well, we've been so many miles together and that. And he said, I know how particular you are, and he said, you know how particular I am. I know if I sell it to somebody, I don't want to see it running up and down the road every day being tore up. I went to his house, got in it, hit the button, boom, you know. I'm looking around at this thing. I never got any further in this seat here. I'm looking around in it, and I said, Art, I think I'm going to buy this from you. And he said, well, here's what I want. I said, fine with me. So there's no hassling, no haggling, no nothing. I said, I got to go home and get a check. And oh, he said, do that some other time. Just take it and go home. I said, okay. So I drove it home and put it in the shed at home. Went back, and the wife took me back, you know, and got my truck, my pickup. And she said, what are you going to need that for? I don't need that.
That's not the point,
That's
wife.
not the point, lady.
So
right.
I see it has 482,000 miles on it.
Yes, ma'am.
What did he...
As you can see, it's got hydraulic system on it. It's got the PTO is gone, but it's set up for it. And oil, that one tank on the other side there's got 65 gallons of hydraulic oil in it. It's split, you know. And he pulled a 4-axle dump trailer because he didn't want to take chances of it turning over. And a flatbed and hauled a lot of steel. And I think that's why he built this truck. If you can believe it or not, the only really thing that I did to it was clean it. And then I went down to Seagulls, had him put the lights in it, and what's the fenders? Hog belt?
Hogue belt?
Hog belts, yeah. Had them put...
I had to ask Hogue belt directly how to say that.
Yeah. I had him put them on and a few other things that I had him do. Outside of that, I haven't spent much money on it.
That steering wheel is brand new.
Yeah, so
everything
it does have a bad part.
Oh.
But it's plastic. See, they're plastic.
For the video's sake, he just pulled the horn cover right off of it.
Well, you know, but it never comes off. The horns are fantastic. They're real low and good, and they're just fantastic.
We're inside the truck right now too, so if you heard that, we're sitting in the air conditioning works. Right. We're sitting in here for the interview.
Well, it's an 8V92 silver Detroit, and at the time when he bought this, he said he could have got a Caterpillar, but the Caterpillar weren't available, but they were quite a bit higher than what a Cummins or a Detroit was. And he said these were available and they were quite a bit cheaper. So I think it's a 445 horse Detroit with a 13-speed and 373 gears in the back. I mean, this thing, it'll get out and bury that needle. I'm not lying to you. And you know, it depends. You know, just gotta. Hell, I'm going to be 75 years old shortly. I don't need speed, trust me. 60 mile an hour for me is people go by me and look at me, but I don't care.
Am I even looking at a working fuel gauge right now?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
The only one. Those often.
The only one that's got fuel in it is this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I got all the rest cut off.
Right.
But yeah, it's full. I fueled it up the other day. But other than that, I mean, it's fantastic. Both seats are air ride. Like I said, it was him and his wife. They ran Mary's Freight Lines. In 2000, she got cancer and that. And this had like a go through the window sleeper in it. So he took it out to Shipshewana and had a double eagle put on it. So that way she could get in. But where they made the mistake was they should have big hold it.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can't, you know, can't move the seats back.
Right.
And there's plenty of room where you could have big hold, and I kind of think maybe they had it big hold, and he didn't like it. That was really not the norm in 2000. But there's so many things about this truck that's just unbelievable. Telescopic steering wheel. know, it comes way out.
That's handy. That's way
It
handy.
is if you're thin. For you, it would be fantastic. For me...
But then I couldn't reach the clutch.
You're right.
Did you work as a trucker in your career?
I drove for Beelman Truck Company for a little over 30 years. I started for him in 1972. At that time, Mr. Beelman, who just died about a year and a half ago when he was 101. He was at Bastogne with the 101st Army in World War II. So he loved his veterans. At the time when I started there were 12 of us. And we had 7 Vietnam veterans. And I'm very proud of being a Vietnam veteran. You know, the first year I worked for him, and come Veterans Day, he come up to me that night at the fuel tank, and he said, you know, tomorrow's Veterans Day. And I said, yeah, I know. And he said, well, you don't have to work on Veterans Day. He said, if you work, I'll pay you. If you don't work, I still pay you. I said, it's kind of no-brainer, ain't it, Frank? Never worked on Veterans Day, but I worked for him forever, and he was fantastic company. One of the best trucking companies that I could ever think of. There's no Dave Dudley song, you know, if you got a girlfriend on the East Coast, they send you out in the West, you know, and things like that, you know. And that's the way trucking is. You never get to go where you want to go, and you never get to do what you want to do. But it was a great life. I loved it. I quit one time. I had done different stuff. And then one day his son called me up and he said, don't you miss trucking? And I said, the only time I miss it is every second of every day. And he said, well, I think it's time you come back to work.
So when did you retire originally?
December the 1st of 2010.
And then you went back to work?
No.
Okay.
First time I left him was in 90. And then I went back in 2002 or something like that. He was as happy as could be that I came back. He asked me what I wanted to do. I told him I want to go back pulling tanks. He said, no problem. He said, give me about 3-4 months and I'll get you a new truck. And every 3 years you got a new truck. I mean, it's a great outfit to work for. Fantastic. The last 6-8 years I worked for him, I've done the same thing every day. I was the only guy that had designated run. And I was the only guy. Last truck I had from him was an 06 Pete. And one of the first things I did with it was I took the dual mufflers off and I put straight pipes on it. Now it's his truck. I'm driving. The guy is raised hell, you know. How come he can do it? Frank said, look, he said, you look at his truck, it's parade ready all the time. It's always parade ready. He said he comes to work every day. We never have a problem with him. We don't get no complaints. Nobody calls us on him. He can do whatever he wants. And as far as myself, I've had and I still have problems with PTSD. Nobody knew what it was the first 35 years that we come back from Nam. And then all of a sudden they put 2 and 2 together and they said, no wonder you're nuts, crazy, you can't be around people and you blow up over everything because the conditions, no matter where you was at over there. And then they sprayed everybody with Agent Orange and it burned your skin, you know, and everything. And then you end up side thing off of Agent Orange is diabetes and heart problems. And, you know, trust me, I'm a walking medicine thing.
So is this your service dog? Your service truck?
Yeah, that's my service truck.
Your emotional support truck?
Good idea, yeah. I joined the Vietnam veterans in 2000 and I guess either 1999 or 2000. And then in 2003, I became the president of our chapter, and I was president for 20 years. I just got out of it this last April. And I'm the vice president of the state of Illinois, Vietnam Veterans Chapter. I'm on the national disciplinary for the Vietnam. I go to Vietnam Veterans Board meetings in Silver Springs, Maryland. So I love the Vietnam veterans. I love the fact that I am one. I am just as proud as can be that I did it, that I went, that I had done what I was asked to do. I came back. My wife and I got married in 1970, November the 20th. And we have 2 boys, earned enough and made enough in our life and served and fought and everything, and to where we have a nice retirement, and we can do what we want to do, you know.
Now you can do that other song, Go Where You Want to Go.
Yeah, go where you want to go,
yeah.
Yeah. My mom and dad had 8 boys. No girls, 8 boys.
Where are you in that lineup?
Number 1. I don't know, you know. I really like this truck, but you know the story on it.
Is this the only truck you have now, or do you have others?
Well, yeah, I'll tell them to pick up it, yeah. This is it. Unless I find me a real nice 359 or a 379. I'm kind of leaning 379 for the simple fact you can get more parts for a 379. You got to make a lot of parts for a 359.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your service.
I have been waiting for the day that I could run up to you or meet you and talk to you. And
well, I'm glad you're actually here, because when we got here this morning, your truck was driving away, and they were like, yeah, he just got here, but he's leaving. And then I noticed it was someone I knew driving it.
Yeah.
And then it came back half an hour later. Like,
I mean, this truck is just, it's hilarious. And the thing is, they work. They work.
That's so cool.
I mean, you could hook anything to it,
right?
You know, and all you do is turn it a little bit, and then it locks it in place. And